sharing my experience of 28 years doing this.
I know, I
Yeah,
understand, I
the
understand.
licensed guys know.
Yes,
Because
I
I think you've got, not only if you're gonna be putting parking spaces, you not only have a, you know, we're gonna talk about wetlands, and I don't mean to get off track, but I think the zoning people would be very interested in parking spaces. Answer is yes. Okay, so, sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack you there, but I offer that as so how many trees did he take down here? I'm going 1, 2, 3, 10 of them?
yeah, roughly, yes, yes.
Maybe more.
More?
It might be more. I didn't get an opportunity to count all the stumps.
I didn't
all
count,
the
yeah,
way out
I didn't
there.
count all the stumps.
But they're,
I mean, this stuff is like right on the river. All this is what he cut? I mean, these are pictures of what we have back here. I mean, these shouldn't be here.
Yeah. I have to clean, I have to clean it up, right, I know.
What's your thought, I have some ideas,
Uh-huh.
but
I
let me
need
hear
help.
your.
I'm asking,
Okay,
that's-
what-
you know,
what-
I don't know, I mean, I don't
Okay.
know what to do. It was a mistake.
It was yeah,
Big
I
mistake.
think more than 10, I mean, knowing what is back there, I mean, this.
Yeah.
So is this is what it looks like now?
Yes, that's the way it looks now, right.
All right. Are you familiar with, I don't know how much you've chatted with Laura, are you familiar with the state of Connecticut concept of regulated area and upland review?
I don't know anything about this.
In a process to protect wetlands, watercourses, most people know that, you know, you don't want to be filling in watercourses and wetlands, but the state says that the health of that water and the ability for nature to do what it needs to do, we need to, the areas, there's a buffer area, if you will, called upland review area or regulated area.
I read that, I didn't know that.
It's 75 feet for
75 for
wetlands, it's 200 feet on the Still River, it's 400, right, for Candlewood, if I remember, right? 200 for Candlewood, yeah,
200
Lake
for
Level, right.
wetlands, right?
75 for wetlands,
Wetlands,
200 feet
from-
for this.
For a river.
When I read this,
Right.
that's when I found out.
So I don't know in your property where that, because these are not to scale.
All right, this is the river.
There's the river, I don't know where this 200 feet,
It's right here is a scale.
okay, well,
I did that.
If-
oh, there's 133, so almost everything behind that building is within, roughly, within the regulated area.
regulated
So
area.
anything that goes on back there, when the licensed contractor draws your diagram, is going to
Yeah.
be subjected to inland wetlands review.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's a note, anything you want to do back there.
right.
So now, what we need to talk about is how we're gonna fix it, okay? The basic plan is going to be to replace the trees.
Replace.
The trees that were taken down, to
Right.
replace them.
Okay.
Which means, I would suggest, see if you can come up with a mutually agreeable time with Laura, or Fran can go out and do it too. Fran's the zoning enforcement officer. And let's get a count of the trees that were
Okay.
taken down,
Uh-huh.
okay? Because in general, that's gonna be the remediation plan.
I see, okay,
Okay.
I understand.
Now, if you want to talk about trying to expand some parking, and that's going to be done in the form of an application.
Application.
That's an application.
Uh-huh.
Because what we want to do is get, when this is all done and all remediated, we're going to have a record of what that remediation was.
Okay,
So there's an application, that's an online application. And that application will describe that it's, that you're gonna be planting TBD, you know, numbers of trees. Now, if you wanna talk about some extra parking back here, you can do that at the same time, and we can review that.
I see.
Okay?
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't, if you are planning some things, that may impact where these trees get planted,
I see, okay,
all right?
okay.
So there are fees associated with the application.
Uh-huh. Now, where do I pick the application, inlands wetlands?
You can actually find it online, but if you call the land use office, they can help
Land use.
direct you. Yeah, the land use office in Brookfield.
Okay,
But I'm pretty sure if you go to brookfield.gov or, yeah, ct.gov, sorry. I knew there was something else in there. Follow the links to land use, then you'll see a link to an application.
Okay.
And you can fill in the application, pretty straightforward.
and then I'll work with the inspector that comes out, or is it?
Well, what I'd like to suggest is, first order of business, call the land use office, get in contact with Laura, and either, come up with a time in the next 2 weeks,
Yep.
okay?
Okay,
In the next 2 weeks, at a mutually agreeable time for Laura, or again, Fran can do it too, the zoning enforcement officer, go out,
Probably go together, so.
yeah, go together, and let's,
okay.
the
All right.
tour,
Are you in the land use okay, I'll come and see you
The-
tomorrow, or this week, or what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll call you.
and let's get a count of the trees that were taken down. And then, I think also, when you're out there, let's look at this pile of debris. Should it just stay? I don't know. I mean, it's food for the woodpeckers, but I don't know is the answer. I mean, so that would be the,
I believe it's in the floodway,
but then that's we don't want that.
so it might
We don't want
not
the
be-
logs. So I'm just saying, take a
I'll
look
take
at
a
that.
it.
Take a peek at, because some of them look like they're kind of far away, and some of them look like they're a little closer.
Looks like there's a pile in back close to the river, and I believe there's another pile to the side
Yeah,
of
there's
the
some
property.
bags.
Yeah.
And a brush on the right side.
Yeah. So while that is being done, I want your agreement, don't let your contractor back there,
I wanna choke him.
okay?
I already had it out with him.
Okay. Don't let anybody do anything back
No,
there, just
no, no,
leave
no.
it as it
Well, that's-
is.
That was done about 4 weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago. No, yeah, longer ago.
We're
yeah,
all
yeah.
driving around town,
Yeah, when I
everybody's
saw it, I
looking,
said,
but
I
it's
know I'm
like,
gonna get-
we
that
can't see
wasn't
back
right.
there.
I knew it wasn't right.
Yeah,
Because,
okay.
you know, I mean, what he did. I knew it wasn't right.
Oh.
It was too late. I didn't catch him.
Ouch. Ouch.
I know.
Ouch. So that's step number one. Once we get the number of trees counted, then step number two will be for you to put together an application. And part of that application will describe that you're going to be replanting X number of trees, whatever the X is.
Right.
And they're gonna be native species trees, and it can be a mix back
Okay.
there. You know, again, we want them to be native and trees, cause that's what was there, and that's for a floodplain. You know, there are certain trees that don't mind wet feet,
Okay.
okay? But we'll work on exactly what the trees are once we get the application together. And you
Right,
can
right.
also, at that time, decide what is it that you wanna do back here with these parking spaces.
I see, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're going to need, do you have, like an A2 plan for this? An A2 level, like a.
A2 survey?
Yeah,
I don't know. I'd have to check my files. I don't know.
well, we'd like to
would-
have it described on something better than just like a GIS
Yeah,
map.
right.
Okay.
So I get an A2 survey? or something?
Yeah, that, I don't know this property very well. I don't know if something exists in Town
Yeah,
Hall.
yeah,
It
okay.
might be. I don't know. That's been there a
I
long
know I
time.
have a map. I don't know if it's an A2 survey. Yeah.
If it's A2-ish, like,
Uh-huh.
size-wise,
Right,
and is
right.
to scale,
Oh, yeah, okay.
that will be enough.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
okay.
Also, on the survey, a question for you, this is wetlands as well?
That's a river, I believe, right?
Well, the Still River is back here.
Right. So the
Okay.
river on
In
the south
this,
side?
I mean, it should be marked with what's the upland review area, a line that would be at least 75 feet off of this and 200 feet from the river.
Oh, I see.
Okay, would show us on
The
this.
setbacks.
On
Where
the
you could
setbacks is another word for it.
Yeah.
Got
Would
it.
show us what area is regulated.
I see.
I mean, if this is out of the regulated area, it's not an
Yeah,
issue,
yeah,
but
so
I
it might
don't
not
think
even
it,
be
I don't
feasible,
think it
yeah.
is. I'm pretty sure it's in the regulated area.
Yeah, I don't think I got 200, that's not 75, we bring them in the middle, that's too close to the wetlands, and the river,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, that's where the scale map
Mhm.
will be helpful,
yeah.
because we can do what, Mr. Newstead is suggesting.
Yeah.
You can get a caliper with
Uh-huh.
200 feet and go, whoop,
Yeah,
okay?
and that would,
Well, I just remedy, worst come, I don't even know why I did that, but I just fix that.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
All right.
If it's gonna get too complicated with the park, I just fix whatever I gotta fix
okay,
and get it complied,
right, so,
clean it up.
right, so we're gonna, and then once you submit an application,
Uh-huh.
you'll be on the agenda here, you're gonna stay on as a notice of violation.
Right,
You'll
right,
show
right.
up here on new business, and the commission will review your application.
Right, right.
And if you get support from all, or at least a majority,
Uh-huh,
that'll give you the go-ahead to start the remediation plan.
I see,
There's gonna be a bond associated, by the way, with the plantings.
okay,
And there's going to be a monitoring of
okay,
those trees, because, like, we wanna ensure their success. Say,
Uh-huh.
this is 2024, or maybe you get them planted in the either the late spring or the fall. We might not want
Right,
it
right,
to be
right,
done
right,
in the
right, right.
summer, cause the rain.
uh-huh,
Probably monitoring until 25, 26, 27, probably 3 years of monitoring.
2 years.
And we'll hold the bond.
I see, really?
And there'll be, yeah,
How much is the bond, you know?
it was gonna be based on the trees.
Oh, the trees, I see,
Yeah.
I see,
to
It's
be
gonna be based
sure
on the cost of the
that there'll be
trees.
enough to
right,
remediate the site. And by the way, the application is for the remediation as well as anything else you wanna do.
uh-huh,
It would ask for permission to remediate, that needs the application as well.
right,
Whether
Okay.
that be planting more trees or whatever it else
Yeah.
comes up that you're gonna have to do.
All right,
okay,
questions for us?
no, that's it, I guess.
Okay, all right.
So
Okay,
so when's the next one, or
we meet every
2 weeks?
2
Pretty
weeks
much?
with.
do I have to come to the next meeting or no? Or-
Well,
Or be
let's,
good if you do.
yeah.
Oh, because it'll pop
Yeah.
every meeting?
Right.
Well, the answer is, I think, yes, because I'm asking you to find some time, work with these
Right,
guys
right,
over the
right,
next 2 weeks, and let's, at our next meeting, which is
I have it here, you got it there?
the 25th of March,
Okay,
we'll know how many trees.
I see,
Well,
okay,
the commission will have a good idea of how many trees, and then once we understand that, and we understand your suggestion about what do we do with this pile of logs, then we can give you the go-ahead, right,
Yes.
to put the application in,
I see, okay, okay.
Because then we'll know how many trees, we'll have some better idea as to what varieties to tell you, to put in the application. Then we'll get the application, we'll be back here, say, the 8th of April, all right? It's new business, we'll talk about it, sounds good, we'll probably make a decision on the 22nd,
Okay,
okay? This all goes as efficiently as possible.
right,
Then we can give you the go-ahead to do the plantings, so you have a chance to do the plantings in May or
Got it.
June, maybe-ish.
okay,
Okay?
that's it.
All right,
Thank you.
well, again,
Thank you for
we,
working with us.
yeah, we appreciate, like I said, we appreciate you coming in.
We'll see you in 2
It's
weeks. Yep.
terribly helpful to stay in contact
Definitely. Oh,
with
yeah.
land use. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
if we haven't, if we know you're working on this thing,
Uh-huh,
we're gonna work with you.
okay, thank
If
you.
we don't hear from you, for some
You're
reason,
gonna hear from me.
yeah, there's
No,
things
no,
called
no.
violation fees, and we
Yeah.
don't wanna get involved in that.
Right, right, right.
Right?
No, 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 no.
We don't want any of that,
I-
okay?
cooperate.
So
You're
stay in
right.
touch, stay in touch.
Take care.
How was that?
That's good.
Just give me a call tomorrow, we'll see what time that
Okay,
comes
thank
out.
Okay, so that is 499 Federal Road, 2A crossroad?
Yep, there's another crossroad.
Yeah, there is another crossroad.
This is
Some-
what happens when you go to do an inspection at one. You see what's going on the whole entire road.
Oh, how great. Is there anybody here from 2 Crossroad?
That actually only went out on Thursday, so
Okay.
they are scheduled to come to your next meeting.
Okay,
So,
can we get a 10-second? What is this one?
That is another clear cutting of trees in the
Oh.
wetlands. So,
No.
there's a theme, not violations here, but it's not as severe as the commercial property. It does not have the Still River, so it's
Just the normal wetlands that are over on
Wetlands.
Crossroads, so,
yes.
and little streams and water
I
courses
believe there's a
unnamed.
little pond back there as well, so.
Okay.
So they'll have more information for you next time. I came across it last Thursday, so I just wanted to get it out and put it on our radar.
Okey dokey. All right, so that is that. Okay, so anything else for us on enforcement? Anything, you
Was it
guys?
enough? No.
Yeah, no, well, I'm telling you, I mean, people who take down trees know. They know.
There's residential, there's commercial, and when I see things coming down, believe me, the first thing I do is go back and check and see if there's wetlands on the property.
Okey dokey, I see 9 Cove Road, this was that trench for a conduit, I think that was a big conversation about that conduit going
Over
over.
or under?
I think there was a language
The-
barrier, but a little bit,
Yeah.
over and under. But,
Right, I remember
she
that.
did update the application,
Okay, let me see if I can get it here.
and it did look,
Yeah, I think that's all we wanted, was
Yes.
a note on the plan to say that the new conduit is going over
Right.
the existing pipe. And she fixed the disturbed linear feet of water course is now 0, okay, excellent. Upland review 10 feet, that's fine. New trench, okay. 3-inch conduit, 400 amp existing trench, silt fence to be installed, 18, okay. I'm seeing. Did you say you saw this note that she wrote on it, or hand wrote, or?
I saw that she had updated the application.
Oh, all right, okay, well, maybe that will do it. And then we can call it out in the motion. You know, we can call it out in the motion to be very clear about it. All right, so let's go back here. Whose proposal outlines a plan for excavating a new electrical trench to establish a connection from the existing transformer situated in the sidewalk to the electrical panel in the basement of the house. This initiative responds to requests from Eversource indicating inadequacy of the current conduit. Trench excavation, dig a trench with a,
The depth of 36 inches.
dig a trench with a depth of 36 inches and with minimal width, aligning with the predetermined route showed on the plan attached. Well, I don't read in there that it's going over the,
Is it shown on the plan,
I
maybe?
don't know, that's why I took this out, because I wanted to see if
Yeah.
she's got some hand notes on it, but I can't. Am I missing something?
No, I'm double checking as well.
Okay.
She had written,
I mean, we can do this, you know, we can incorporate this construction sequence, and we can specifically call it out, and we can write it on the plan, too. But I think as long as it's going over that existing pipe, and they're not getting down into
Into the-
whatever,
the wa-
whatever, I don't know,
Wetland,
well and
whatever.
soils may or may not be under there, we don't have to bother with it.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm gonna write on here, 311-24 stipulation, new conduit must go over the top of the existing, culvert,
Yeah.
right?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it can go over, because this apparently is down pretty deep,
Okay.
so if she can't
It's not
go,
an open culvert then?
no,
Okay,
no, it's a culvert, it's a pipe.
okay,
So if she can't do that, she's gotta come back,
okay.
right? I don't wanna do things that you can't inspect correctly. All right, so I'm gonna say stipulation, 311-24, the new conduit must be on top of, go over,
Go over.
Go
the,
over?
Yeah.
go over,
the above.
be above,
There you go. I like that.
must be above existing
Con-
culvert
culvert, right.
pipe.
Conduit?
The new conduit pipe, the new conduit must,
New electrical
must be
conduit,
above-
New electrical conduit.
I don't have room for electrical. You lost your chance.
Okay, sorry.
But we can put it in the motion, okay, we can put that in the motion. New conduit must be above the existing pipe. And I didn't read that she's taking out the old one, right?
She is not taking
existing one to remain. That way, nobody has to do any with, and if you want to change it, they gotta come back. Okay, existing,
Electrical conduit.
thank you,
to
to remain. Okay, remain. Whoa. Existing conduit to remain. Okay? So, I'll make a motion then to approve the application W-24-4 for 9 Cove Road, as described on a plan by Bottigam Land Surveyors with a date of 1/21/08, with all the usual stipulations and 3 others. First, to incorporate the construction sequence for the project, which 2 notes that the new electrical conduit must be installed over the existing culvert pipe up by the Cove Road beginning, and that 3, the existing electrical conduit to remain in place,
Undisturbed?
undisturbed,
I would add that word.
undisturbed.
Yeah, we can't take it out and put it back.
Can't take it out and put it back.
second that.
Okay, Bob seconds that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries unanimous. Okay.
Here,
All right,
this-
put this together. Let me go get the stamp. Why don't you start the next one?
You want me to get the stamp?
Yeah, get the stamp.
You need the receipt, you just,
Do this bad boy here. Okay, now, where did my agenda go?
we don't need this.
Oh, it's on the second page.
148.
Yeah, what's next? What's next? Yeah, I lost my second page. Okay. All right, next we have is 148 North Lake Shore. This was the new home with the septic. I think this one was pretty straightforward. Okay, do we have anything new? Oh, where it went to, Bob? Must have ended up in the pile.
Your stuff's still in it, while watching.
Yeah,
148.
we don't have anything new here, so. Steve Sullivan was here and the septic system is demolished, splash, oh, it was the splash pad. We just wanted Steve to think about, use his best PE, credentials here and just make a note for us on that splash pad that it's correctly sized, right? Except for, again, I said something like 5 inches of rain within 4 hours, but we wanted Steve to take, use his
There's a-
professional expertise.
There's a note here that the application was updated on March 5th,
Okay,
which is since the last meeting.
all right, so here's February 28th, so that one's superseded. Yeah,
Now, it
two-
does
yeah, I
say
got
the-
227 IWC and Health Department comment.
Plans, but the application was updated, not the plans.
Okay,
whatever
so,
that is.
where's this? Here we go, so it's a little different, oh, good. Proposed roof drainage recharges, 265 gallons per unit. All right, so he's changed it around a little bit, he's made it just a little bit bigger.
That's what we asked her to do.
Well, I don't know about, I didn't, well, that I didn't ask them to do, I just said, tell us that that's gonna be good enough for the kinds of rains that we're
That's true, okay,
seeing.
Right.
And I said, I said 5 inches in 4 hours, cause that's what we've been getting, but I left it to his PE judgment to come up with the right answer here. So I do see he's changed. I just don't, I know he's done it, but I just don't see it.
He, if you can see right above that.
I'm sorry, sir, can we just get your name?
Yeah, Connor Roscoe.
Okay.
Applicant.
Okay,
He told me that he added a stone level spreader for roof recharge and footing drains. That was the thing that he
yeah,
added on top.
yeah, I definitely see that. And that, you can't see what I'm pointing at, but I did notice that he did make that change.
Right.
What I, oh, maybe this is it. Let's see, proposed screen. Just looking for some calculation as to why it's this big. That's what that, I'm just looking for a calculation that says, why is that spreader, whatever it is, 10 feet-ish, 15, 12 feet, 12, 15 feet-ish in size. I can see he's done the calculation for the Cultec.
Mm-hmm.
265 gallons per unit, plus or minus, gallons required, 20. So that's 3,100 gallons. Gallons required, 2,100. The top 440, bottom is 438. Inspection port. We didn't get any emails or anything from Steve saying, look here.
Not that I'm aware of, no. I actually didn't.
I want to
think he was
approve-
gonna be here today. I thought he
Yeah,
was.
well,
He
I
said
think,
he couldn't be here.
yeah. Frankly, I don't see any reason we shouldn't approve it. We're looking for something to say, that's 15 feet because. That's the only thing we're kind of missing, because it's right on the line. You know, it's right on the property line. Do you, I'm sorry, sir, I didn't get your last name again.
Connor Roscoe.
Mr. Roscoe?
Yeah.
Do you,
Do I know the calculation that?
yeah, or did you guys talk about it, or did he say
No,
anything
I was
like
away
that?
last week,
Okay.
And he came back to me and said, Wetlands is looking for this level spreader, and I go, well, I don't know what that is, but
Yeah,
yeah, that's what he put, and that's what he told me.
okay.
But I also don't see like an email from him explaining the change.
What's your relationship to this plan? Or
I'm
this-
the contractor
Okay,
on the site.
all right.
Perhaps we could approve it with a stipulation that within, before the next
We
meeting,
could
he
do that.
provides us
I
with
mean, we could
a
do.
letter of
what's-
explanation.
What kind of time frame are they under here? Are you guys trying to get going tomorrow?
I don't think so.
No, not
I think
tomorrow.
we have 2 weeks.
You got 2 weeks? Okay,
We still have to go for other.
okay.
as well.
If someone could just follow up with Steve to say, you know, just help us. We're just looking for maybe something to say, and, you know, this is size 4, again, whatever.
Can I ask if it could be an administrative approval once you get that email?
Well, we don't, that's what, first off, we don't do administrative approvals. You know, it's either approved with a stipulation or,
Can you make it approved with that stipulation?
well, we were just kind of talking about that, because we know that you know, the applicant here has hired a, you know, a very reputable firm here. We could do that, you know, we could do that and say the application is, or the approval, we can't, with,
Subject to.
It would be a stipulation on it. Provide calculations.
hang on, just hang on a second, let us think, yeah.
instead of two
Yeah, we could
verifications.
do like a stipulation within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know, we could do something like that.
And you want a note on the plan itself?
Yeah, just a note that said what was the calculation for the size of the level spreader? You know, that's all. I said, it looks like it's about, 1 inch to 20, so it looks like it's about, 15 feet-ish, and maybe 2 feet. So it could simply be, somebody could get an email and staple the email to the plan. It could be something like that, or we could get them to follow, I guess we could get them to note the plan and get it to us in the month. We could do it that way.
We'll be happy to get that, thank you.
Yeah, because if we don't get it, then the plan won't be approved,
Understand.
all right? When are you guys gonna start? When's the construction starting?
Still has to go through another stage of building permit.
All right,
We
we
have
can-
2
we-
weeks, we
we-
do have 2 weeks.
yeah, I don't know what Steve's schedule is,
Right.
so I mean, he could be going on vacation for all I know, so we can give him a month. We can give him a month, the
Mhm.
sooner the better, but we
Are
can
you
give him a month.
planning on holding up the start of construction for the month?
No, you
I
said they
don't
weren't
think-
doing.
We could do that, yeah.
No, I don't think we need to. I
Yeah.
mean, I think we could just do it with a stipulation that they provide us, I had said 2 weeks within a month with a
Yeah, that way it just doesn't
explanation
get
of the
forgotten.
yeah, an
Yeah.
explanation of the calculations
Yeah.
for the level spreader.
Yeah, well, let's do that.
Yeah.
Do
Why?
you have anything else you wanna, well, we just talked, I cut you off, so,
No, it was good.
all right?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so, you wanna do it, or you want me to do it?
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion then to approve W-24-6, 148 North Lake Shore, as described on a plan by CCA with a last revision date of 2/27/24, with all the usual stipulations, plus that the applicant provide, by April 4th, an updated plan describing the calculations used for the size of the level spreader. That way it'll get here 2 days before and before the meeting. Anything else?
I'll second that.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries unanimous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll do it for you.
What's that? Yeah, you want to do this, start this, do this. The next one, I think, while I do this, is Oak Meadows. Is someone here from Oak Meadows? No, but,
They
because
have
there's an
that
update on that,
contract
right?
there. That's the trees that were being cut down.
Right,
They were supposed to come in on Friday, we had an appointment, unfortunately, town hall was unexpectedly closed,
right,
and we haven't been able to touch base since.
okay.
But it took her like a week before she got a hold of me the first time to even make those plans, so.
Okay, so how about a motion to continue that one?
I'll make a motion that we continue item W-24-7 for 6, that's Oak Meadows Homeowners Association, to the next regularly scheduled meeting.
Okay, Bob
I'll
seconds.
second it.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimous. All right, I think that's all the old business, so now let's go on to the new business. We've got 81 Pocono Road. Someone here from 81 Pocono Road? Okay, so for everyone that's gonna speak, can you get your name and business address is fine over to Cassandra,
I'm Dan
please?
Barra. Excuse me, I'm the applicant, 52 Rita Drive in New Fairfield.
How do you spell your last name?
G-E-R-A. And then with me is my civil engineer with Civil Ones is Brian Baker.
Whereas
So we're gonna give you a chance to tell us what this is about, but let me just take a look at the application here first, okay? I see we've got the Ian Cole Soil Scientist report. Okay, the oh, here we go. All right. All right, so you got total acreage on the property is 4.9 acres. There's a lot of wetlands on that,
There's a good
those
amount of
areas.
wetlands on
Yeah,
there.
60,000 feet, and you've got disturbed wetland area of 50?
Correct.
50?
That's the disturbed wetland, but we are in the 75-foot upland review.
Okay, and there's no brooks on this. Okay, so you got 50 disturbed wetland
50 square
area,
feet,
50
okay,
square
yeah,
feet. Can we just focus on that for a little bit here? What,
Yeah, sure.
like I said, I know this property, all along the railroad tracks and all along Pocono, is all
Yeah.
wet over there. So what's the 50 feet?
Yeah, that's a good map. Ron, do you want to take that, or?
Yeah, so the 50 feet is, well, let me go back to here for 1 second. So this is the, again, for the record, Brian Baker, licensed engineer in the state of Connecticut, also certified professional in erosion and sediment control, and certified professional in stormwater quality with Civil 1. Dan asked us to get the wetlands map by Ian Cole, complete the survey. So this is the base survey that All Seasons Surveying did for us. You know, long rectangular piece, you see the property line in black here. Wetlands flags is this line
Okay.
coming around. 75-foot regulated area, this dashed line. And then we have an Iroquois gas easement, 50-foot easement that runs right through the property here.
Yeah.
So we're limited to, our upland area is limited to this portion of the parcel, so we had to come up with a longer rectangular plan for the development, but this little portion of wetlands that sticks across the right-of-way is where our 50-foot disturbance is. So that is this corner right here, and what we did is we minimized, the original plan was to grade it out at a 2-to-1 slope, but we're putting a retaining wall in to hold that slope back to minimize it just to that 50 feet. We couldn't really shrink it anymore because we're up against front setbacks with the building here. So this is a self-storage facility, three 2-story self-storage buildings, so they have an upper level, and then you would drive around to lower level, so there's access to each side, and we really get through the minimum amount of access with around the end of the building, and then, 24-foot wide drive aisle along the units there. So that's the wetlands impact, and then the regulated area comes in this area, the 75-foot.
So it's not just, you're filling 50 feet of wetlands, you've got whatever that is, 50, 60 feet of pavement sort of right along those wetlands as well?
Yes, which are all gonna be treated through a stormwater treatment system.
All right, so, I mean, 50 feet is not a lot. Have you guys thought about, because I say filling wetlands in Brookfield, we're gonna have a public hearing. You know, and one of the things I know you guys know would be a prudent and feasible alternative. Have you guys thought about going to zoning board of appeals and getting a variance? So you can bring that building in or bring it closer to the front of the road, and that way you don't have to fill the wetlands?
We did not, and the reason we didn't, if you see in the record, I don't know if you had a chance to read it, we actually had Ian Cole do a full functions evaluation of the wetlands. And he has surmised that there will be no significant negative impact to the wetlands, to its functions and values. You have a minor localized impact to this 50 feet. It won't affect at all how this wetland area functions. It is already impeded by, you have the Iroquois right-of-way here, which gets cleared semi-regularly.
Unfortunately, yeah.
It's been disturbed, and we've done our best to, again, keep the plan linear and keep it as close to up in this northwest corner as possible. So while, yes, there is a minimal filling there, overall wetland system in that area will continue to function as it does now, without any.
I don't know how much you know about Brookfield, but the number of filled wetlands in Brookfield over the last 20 years, you can count on the fingers of one hand. So, I mean, I would encourage you guys to think about, again, going to the zoning board of appeals and trying to get, and seeking for you got a hardship here, you know, a wetlands hardship, and move that building I don't know, however many feet forward, so that we can keep those wetlands and we can keep your pavement away from those wetlands and look at, you know, a 10-foot buffer or so between your pavement and wetlands. So I would really encourage you guys to think about that, you know, as a prudent and feasible alternative. And other than that, like I said, I have some ideas too, but I don't want to, let me get Michael and Bob a chance. I don't want to talk over everybody.
No, your suggestion is something I was thinking of as well, because this has happened before.
Yeah,
And that the protection of the wetlands would override any necessity to move it back for setback regulations, at least in my mind. I don't want to speak for the town, but whether or not, if it can be done by moving one building forward, or that may be more complicated than moving all three, but anything we can do to save even a few square feet of wetlands is,
it's one of the challenges of the loss of wetlands. It's the tyranny of a million cuts.
yeah.
So, you know, it's 50 feet, it's 50 feet here, it's 75 feet there, it's 30 feet there, and suddenly there's less than half the wetlands in the United States. So, I mean, I don't want to cut you off, but I want to be, you know, sensitive to your time.
I understand, and I've been doing this a long time too.
Yeah.
We've been in business 30 years.
Sure.
I've occurred over 28 years. We've been my first time in Brookfield.
Yep.
But we've been all over the state, and in our experience, they hold prudent and feasible alternative tests comes in when you're having a potential for significant negative impact to the wetlands. And that's why we went ahead and did the functions and values report. And we could certainly have Ian come to the next meeting and present his findings also. I mean, if you're telling us in Brookfield, you can't fill in wetlands, period, and you never give permits for filling in wetlands, that's one thing.
We have filled some wetlands when there was no other option. It was usually a driveway. There's a driveway. Then, because the lot was so configured that the only way to get in, you know, was filling the wetlands. We did another one where the building didn't have, it was an older building, it didn't have fire access to the back. It was in a floodplain, so we let them fill in a little bit, and then they created wetlands. So that would be another consideration here as well. If you guys want to ask us to really consider this as your primary, we got to be talking about created wetlands. Now, maybe they're on the plan, I didn't see it, but that's what you're going to be talking about. It's probably a 4-to-1, okay? Because that's what we've done with other projects here in Brookfield.
So there have been wetlands that have been filled.
Yeah, as I said, recently there were 2 lots, you know, where the only way in was to nip a little bit of wetland. And so we did approve that, but there was a wetlands creation. There was another building, like I said, it was a commercial building, an existing commercial building that didn't have access in the back, so it was a safety concern. So there was a wetland filling there to get that safety concern, but then there was wetlands creation 4-to-1. There is another one in Brookfield too. There's just to, you know, be fair, full disclosure.
731.
No, there's no filling of wetlands at 731 or the property below or the 2 on the other side. All 4 of those projects, they were designed, and there were some minor changes to it, so as not to fill wetlands. So there is another project, and I'm just gonna, you know, I said we're not here to be a pain in the neck here, but there is 20 Station Road that has contaminated soil. And so there was a big project there, and some money from the state, right? And so, yeah, there was a bit of a wetlands filling there as the commission, on balance, supported that. But that's a very unique circumstance. I said you got contaminated soil. So I'm just trying to be clear with you guys, what, how this has, and that's not to say that the past is always a predictor of the future, okay?
So can we talk through a couple scenarios? So the scenario where we're not filling any wetlands at all, so like you said, a zoning variance to move the entire, basically development closer to the road. Or the second scenario, which was to create artificial wetlands 4-to-1.
Well,
If we did fill.
those creations were done because there was no other option.
Okay.
There was no other way to get into that property there just wasn't a way to put the driveway in. They had to go over wetlands. The lot was configured in a way that either they didn't know or they didn't think, I don't know.
Okay.
So,
If we're able to, through whatever means Brian and I need to not fill any wetlands, how is our application looking? Like the rest of the, is that it seems like that's really the big concern here.
in general, right, I mean, like I said, there's been a lot of development here in Brookfield. Like I said, our concern is going to be over, how is that stormwater being treated? And where does it go? Is it going in, I assume you're gonna put it on Pocono Road, you're not putting it into the
No,
wetlands?
it's going down, it goes down gradient into the wetlands.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so that's gonna take maybe a little bit more conversation about, is that the best place to put it? Or
It's
can
the
you?
only place to put it.
Okay.
But in order to, what we've done is a huge bed of underground infiltrators that we're providing and that is in the upland, not in the wetlands area. So all of the impervious surface from the site comes through catch basins with deep sumps and hooded outlets into these underground infiltration chambers to recharge. So it's treated through the basins and the infiltration chambers before it leaves through an outlet structure onto a riprap pad. And the other thing to think about, this is a I-1 zone, right? It's an industrial zone. This proposed use is probably has the least amount of potential for pollution of the wetlands, being a self-storage facility, because it's not, you can have manufacturing, animal kennels, you could have so the fact that you've got, self-storage facilities, how often do people come by? It's not a huge parking lot.
Well, as you know, we don't get involved in use. The use is the use. On the wetland side, use is the use.
Right, but
For
you get
us.
involved in the wetlands, right? And
Yeah.
if I was saying we're gonna come here and put in a dry cleaner, I'm
Yes.
sure there wouldn't, that
From a
wouldn't go.
wetland standpoint,
Yeah.
if you can convince at least two of the majority that you're not impacting the wetlands, you can have a dry cleaner there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, understood.
Yeah.
But if we can't come to an agreement that self-storage, where you have 19 parking spaces over this entire space that is gonna be used minimally, has yet less potential impact than all the other potential uses that are allowed in the zone. I'm just saying, this is a good.
It's a very good use
for
of
this
this.
spot.
I'm sure it is, and I'm just trying to make a terribly minor point that for us, use doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So let me do this. Let me suggest that we set, because this is the only plan we have, this is the plan of record. Let's set a public hearing date for 4 weeks from today. It'll be the 20. It'll be the 8th. You guys around on the 8th of April?
April 8th?
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so we'll set a public hearing for April 8th. And there's fees associated with it. So the land use, talk to them about the publication fees. We're gonna take, like I said, we're gonna ask for third-party review on both your drainage plan. So we're gonna need a stormwater management person to review their drainage plan. And third-party review on, their soil scientist, Mr. Coles, on Mr. Coles' report. So 2 requests for review of their submitted It'll be 2 different people. Sound good enough for a scope? Okay,
You had a third-party review for the stormwater management plan, and a separate stormwater, third-party review for soil scientist.
right, and you guys, both of you guys agree with that, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So that should be helpful for you.
Mhm.
All right, so it was a view of the commission. And then, in the meantime, you guys can think about what you wanna do. You know, you wanna come to the public hearing, do you wanna think about another alternative? Do you wanna, because we have time, you wouldn't probably notice this in, for what, a week or so?
Probably it has to be between 2 and 15, or 2 and 8 and 10 and 15 days.
Okay, so we've got about,
A week,
about a week, right?
before I have to get to the newspaper.
Yeah, before she's gotta get to the newspaper, so while you guys think, if you guys have a week to think, and, which could call off the public hearing,
Okay.
okay? We probably will continue with probably a stormwater management requirement, if you guys can get out of the wetlands, okay? Probably that, cause you're planning to put them in the wetlands, so we'll probably do a stormwater, but we might not have to do a
The soil scientist.
soil scientist.
Is there any particular third-party reviewer that you want to use for this?
Whoever is, there is a list, and it usually turns out to who's ever available, okay? But I can help you with some names.
As a side question, as far as the option to go to ZBA, is that something that you're familiar with the ZBA's typical, would they see this as a hardship?
You can never speak for, as
Yeah.
far as whether or not they'll consider, you will have wetlands on your property, which has been considered a hardship in the past. Whether or not they will consider this as enough or a significant enough impact to allow anything, they'll look at the entire property.
Right.
In and of itself.
And that would be a public hearing.
That would also be a public hearing.
Right.
You're not avoiding a public hearing. Correct, it's a
Right.
public hearing no matter what. ZBA meets,
Every month, once a month.
well, yes, I just can't remember which,
It's early, isn't it?
First Monday.
the first Monday
First
of the
Monday
month.
Okay.
Okay? So you can think about what you wanna do. So we have a plan, and you guys can change it if you wish.
Understood.
Okay, sound okay? Other questions for us?
No, we will certainly, we'll be in touch and let you know how we're gonna proceed, and obviously we'll, have our wetland scientist here at the next
Yeah, we would-
hearing, if that's.
Yeah, I would really
you know,
encourage,
yeah, 'cause I
encourage
mean,
that.
That's what we're here about.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys getting that together, by the way, you know, cause that, we don't always get that, you know, we don't always get his opinion. So sometimes that can add delays, but you guys, because I did a quick look at it, it looks like you've got everything, so it'll be a nice, you know, it'll be a comprehensive review on that. And you guys pay for those third-party reviews, you are aware of that?
Yep.
Okay. All right,
A very minor note on the top of page 2 of the application, purpose and description is empty. Just, I'm sure it could use one line to what you're
put a
gonna build.
building in.
Building a storage facility.
I missed that.
Okay.
You see what he's referring to?
On page 2?
Yeah, the
Yes.
top of page 2.
Yeah, sometimes when
Purpose
they're
and
online, they're
description.
hard, it's easy to miss stuff.
Oh, it looked like it was like the header.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we've had people fill that in and then forget to put the numbers down,
Right,
so,
Okay,
all right,
thank you for that.
all right, guys,
Appreciate it.
all right,
All right, thank you for,
all righty, so
explanation.
let's, make a motion then to continue 81 Pocono Road to our next regularly scheduled meeting.
I'll second that.
Bob seconds that. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, 874 Federal Road. All right, so again, names and addresses to Cassandra, please.
That'll be fine.
Michelle Rose, controller, clerk on hearing.
Anthony Lucera, 2 Old New Milford Road.
Before we get going, did you hear my story about the frogs?
What's that?
No, he wasn't.
I wasn't
Yeah, what's the address just south of 701 Federal?
Yeah.
I walk by that all the time.
Yeah,
And I was walking Tuesday,
yeah.
and that wetlands that everybody, you guys in particular, work
Can
so.
I, well, before these
Yeah.
guys leave,
can I point out that you requested of us on 701 to go back to ZBA for front yard setback to be further away from that
I remember
wetlands.
that.
And ZBA did approve us of changing our front yard setback to outside of the regulations. So if you go to them, you have a very decent shot of getting that approved.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything while they were up here, but since you brought it up.
No, well, yeah, that's fine, but I want to tell you about the frogs.
Yes.
I'm walking by,
Yeah,
and, you know, there are frogs in that.
yeah,
Yeah,
of course, there's
yeah.
water in there, why would there be?
They
frogs
were
in there?
going on, carrying on, it was,
Oh, yeah,
it
wait
was,
till it gets
it was
warm.
nice to hear.
When it gets warmer, they
It
get
was,
louder.
it was really nice to hear. So I just wanted to tell you that, you know,
Is
that,
that recording or is that?
yeah, that's recording,
Okay, good.
so. All right, so you
Wanna
get their,
Make sure somebody didn't leave it.
yeah, you got their names? Okay, so what do we got here?
So, yeah, the old plan?
Why does this sound familiar?
Because you approved the project already.
Okay.
The old project. Okay.
It was a long time ago.
So this project was always two parcels.
Right.
This northern piece,
Right,
which we have now own, and the southern piece, which was owned by McCarty.
yeah,
We were never able to close on McCarty.
okay,
I tried for literally a year and a half, almost 2 years. So we determined to go forward with just this portion, which is Peters Imports, the
Yeah.
old Peters Imports, and the new site plan.
this is the old one, right?
That's the old approved plan.
I remember there were wetlands here, and there was,
Yeah, there was a ton of it.
there
And
was a
Steve-
created wetland, or with some,
Yeah,
right?
we created a good portion of this wetland, but
Yeah.
there's a big swath of wetlands that went right through the center.
Right,
Yeah, you can see it better here. Here's
Yeah.
the wetlands are here, and there's another little piece up here
On the old plan.
on the old plan.
right.
So what I did is.
This was a drainage pipe, right, that connected it or
Yes,
something,
yeah.
yeah.
What I did with Michelle is I said, I wanna keep what was approved for the upper portion. So these three buildings are in the exact location that these were approved.
Okay, so we just talked about the wetlands, it's just here,
Yeah,
right?
that little piece.
That's what's left on this property.
Okay,
This
because there
buil-
aren't any, that's it, there's no other water courses or anything here, okay?
No. This building, because this was our, building that had the retail in it, the original approval. We now had to take this building,
We actually kept it
I'm
in
sorry.
this spot here.
yeah, that's right, it is in the same
We
spot.
just, they made
We-
it smaller.
We made it smaller, because we're keeping the existing driveway. All of our drainage retention for zero runoff is all underground.
Wait, 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 you just said, where's the driveway?
So the existing driveway, which for some reason not showing up, is right here. This is the existing driveway.
Oh, okay, yeah, because that's always, okay,
Right.
yep.
An existing conditions map to help show you where
All right, I'm
it
gonna
was.
let Michelle take over from here.
Just because it was a little confusing. 'Cause they don't, so there's an existing driveway and the building.
Right.
And parking that's here.
Right.
So now for our plan, we're using this driveway.
Ah, so that's why you're here.
Right, so instead of, this is the old access, so now we've moved it down to here.
Right.
Which is right here.
Right, because you don't know when this is ever gonna happen.
Correct.
Ah, so no
Well,
pool.
that'll never happen with us,
Okay,
where
understand.
we are.
So
All
the
right.
no pool, no clubhouse, this, that's all gone. So the
Okay.
driveway is now where the pool was.
Okay, so now, okay, so that's the old one. So show us the new one with the drive and the wetland.
Is right here. So this is the wetland area.
Doesn't it cross over on the lot?
Yep, so here's the
Oh,
property line.
yeah, okay.
So it's, I think 200 and, whatever I had, 250 square feet is on our property.
But there's absolutely no disturbance to it.
But you're not just touching that,
No.
right?
No.
No, our closest, so this is kind of our limit of disturbance.
Okay, so
30 square.
75 feet is like this-ish?
Yep.
So where's the
So
upland review area line?
200 for the approval way back when, which I'm not sure why. So I actually threw a 70-foot line on here just to show the 75-foot line. I don't know.
CCA for some reason had a 200.
200 foot, and I
Yeah.
kept it the same because I wanted to, mimic what they did, but
I wonder if there's wetlands over here. Isn't that, isn't there a wetland on that
This
side,
is,
right?
this is the Riverview project
Yeah.
that I built.
Yeah.
And there is a swath of wetlands
Right there,
across the street.
but that doesn't relate to
No.
That
This
doesn't
is
relate
to
to
it.
this. Let's forget this, right?
So this is 75 feet.
Okay.
This, I did this before I came before, because I was like, let me show her the 75 feet. So I did calculate how much disturbance in that 25. So it's 4,000 square feet of disturbance in the 75 feet. Which, just to let you know, so this actually for the wetland, the way it drains, because this way, wetland drains out this way.
Oh,
So this disturbance actually drains away from the wetland. It's not even impacting the wetland.
oh, I thought the wetland went this way.
No, they
to-
drain
It does
this
on the
way.
other property.
Oh.
They drain from here to here and they drain out to Federal Road.
Oh. So how do they
There's a
drain?
pipe
Oh, there's a
here.
pipe.
There's a pipe here that connects to an existing, basin. It all drains and it
So
drains
do you know, is
out.
that just sort of like buried in the dirt, or is there some head wall there, or do you know, or
There is
There's-
basically just a pipe that's so overgrown that.
does it work?
Apparently it does, because nothing floods,
Okay,
so even with all the rain we've had.
so this is
So this invert here is 283.5.
283.
And it connects down here at like 282, I believe, as I looked at it before. 282.15, so it drains out this way. So all of this actually drains away from the wetlands. So this is like a ridge
this-
right
Yeah,
here.
here's 304
So
to.
this drains down here.
Yeah.
And then this all drains that way away from the wetland. So all of this disturbance actually does not contribute to that wetland, it drains away.
Huh,
So really, there's no impacts from what we're doing to the wetlands.
right. And you're barely,
Yeah,
so you're gonna do some landscaping along, where does the drive on this? You do some landscaping along the drive,
Yeah,
is
so
that on a
in
plan?
This existing, I have that plan too.
Okay.
So we have some landscaping along the edge, 'cause so we're extending, we're doing a walkway down here, so there's,
Oh.
plantings here, and then we have plantings along, we have a sidewalk here and plantings along.
Because the wetland is still right
Right
there,
here.
oh, there it
It's
is,
right
yeah,
there.
there it
Right
is,
here.
okay.
We're working with Greg Dombrowski on the walking trail.
Okay.
And so we've at his request, we added an 8-foot sidewalk in front of our property, and it'll be detailed out just like everything else that he's done down south of the Four Corners. But his intention is to get this walkway all the way up to Newberry Village. That's what his goal is.
Okay, and you're, like I said, this kind of relates to my earlier question, this little drainage situation goes to this, the catch basin out on the road, and
Yep.
it's, as far as you know, it's working, or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
Abigail from A2 did the landscaping.
yeah.
It's just flipping down.
Yeah.
Just to show you, so the parking kind of comes out, so we're getting rid of a lot of this asphalt
Yeah.
on our plan. So it'll be lawn, so you can kind of see here's the limit of that parking. And we're getting rid of a lot of that.
Yeah.
It'll be landscape, grass. Same in here, it'll be all landscaped in here.
Well, this all looks very straightforward, I mean, like I said, it's just, again, it's a minor disturbance in the upland review area. There's not, and that's so small, it's probably full of floribunda and phragmites and stuff
I don't
like
even
that,
think
but
there
it's
were
so.
any Phragmites in there.
Yeah,
No.
well, probably floribunda and winged
can't even-
euonymus probably, but,
We can't even
but they're so tiny, you can't clear it out, it's not on your property. Can we do this one as a, modification?
That was how I
Yeah,
submitted
that's how we
it.
had
Yeah.
submitted it.
Yeah, modification, okay.
I don't see any problem.
I don't see any problem with it. Yeah, okay. All right, so, let's see, why don't you take your plan?
Yeah, take all this, sorry. Just wanted to.
Yeah, no, I
give you a
appreciate
quick-
that, and let's see if I can find your plan here. Where's the date on this one? 9/8/23, Michelle? 9/8/23.
Yeah, there's no revision date on it, so it's the 9/8/23.
So here's that. Where's the landscaping plan here, sediment erosion?
It might be, it's a separate stack.
Okay, so we'll incorporate this as well. I can't think of anything. And I appreciate you guys thinking about it. All right, so we got 2 plans, all the normal stipulations. We don't have to think about a bond. We don't have to think about, can't think of anything else we gotta think about.
Okay.
Can you think of anything else we should be thinking about? All right, then I'll make a motion then to approve the site plan modification for 874 Federal Road, as described on a set of plans from Artel Engineering with a date of 9/8, as well as a landscaping plan from A2 Land Consulting with a revision date of, original date of 12/20/23 and a revision date of 2/29/24 with all the usual stipulations.
I'll second that.
Any discussion of the motion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Nope, I got it.
Pretty easy, yeah?
That's why I left the plan to say,
What's
make it
it-
easy for everybody.
Okay, you're in business.
Thank you.
All right, all right, good luck on it. 3/24.
Feel lonesome?
What's that?
I said, I asked you if you feel lonesome?
Yeah, while I do this, Michael, why don't you start 77 Vale Road?
Come on up. Hi, how you doing? You can have a seat if you'd like. Cassandra, name and address.
Pardon me? Small I, capital I.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was also looking over there, so.
What's capital A?
Oh, it looked like an L.
Yeah, I got my whole life, don't worry.
I grabbed the folder, it's right
Oh,
over
you
here.
did?
You know Phil Gallagher? I think he's on my station.
Pardon me? I know Ralph Gallagher.
No, he's the engineer, no. Phil Gallagher lives in Bethel, there's not there.
Oh, he does.
Okay. It was
I
actually,
grew up in Bethel my whole life, so that's
what
fine.
year did you get out of school?
Pardon me?
What year did you get out of school?
04.
My kids went there, but they got out of school.
Okay, sir,
All right,
I
so what do we
did
got?
not get your name because I was doing something, oh, I'm sorry? Anthony,
Oh, quizzes.
okay, Anthony, what do we got here?
We're just gonna, we would like to change, in lieu of grass pavers to gravel. That's it.
Can I give you a little background?
Yeah, I was gonna, yeah, please, yeah.
So I went out to do a final inspection at 77 Vale, and when the A2 survey came in, we saw some differences.
Okay.
From what was on the proposed plan.
All right,
The major difference was, it was proposed grass pavers, it's in the same location, and when I went out there, it was actually a gravel driveway. So I offered them 2 options, that they can either come back and ask for a modification on the plan, to either request a gravel driveway, or to put in the grass pavers, and then I can sign off on the original plan.
okay.
It's actually funny, you brought it up today, when you go out in a final, and I go, if you don't pass, that's exactly what this was.
Well, you didn't do what the plan said, right?
The plan said, so you can either go for a modification, or you can do what the plan said, so we opted to go for a modification, came back in, and
And here we are.
here we are.
Okay, so, let's just refresh ourselves on the wetlands on this property. Where is that line? Where is that line?
This is all wetlands in here, this whole thing.
Do you know, is there a line that describes where the wetlands are on this plan?
This is the survey, A2 survey.
Okay, well, whatever.
The drainage easement,
Because I'm gonna approve a new plan, I gotta know where the wetlands are.
wetlands is,
I know that, I gotta see it on the map. I appreciate you general idea, but I gotta see it on the plan. And there was a plan
yeah,
that had them, So we just gotta get that plan. And that's just a view, small copy of that. So why didn't they do the grass pavers?
Why we didn't do it?
Yeah,
To be honest with you, it's a lot of money.
Why?
Pardon me?
Why didn't they do the paper?
It's cost.
Oh, okay.
so what did they do? Did they dig out, did they
This is-
dig
this is-
down and
this
put
is-
process in and
This
then?
is my own building.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
But, so what did you guys do? Did you dig down here 18 inches or so, put process and then gravel,
Well,
or
in
what
order
did you
for
do?
to put grass pavers in there, you have to do that regardless.
Okay, but that is, what is underneath your gravel here?
Gravel, it's
Just-
process.
You just poured gravel on the dirt?
Well, it's not, it's gravel, it's process.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
I'm just trying to, did you excavate here to get a base and then put the gravel on top?
Correct. Well, we didn't excavate anything. This site was a fill
Okay,
over here. There's a drainage system that's currently right here that goes across. That's where everything drains out to. There's like instead of Coltex, there's twin pipes in here. Twin 15-inch, I think it says 15 or 13, yeah, 15-inch HD pipes with crushed stone that comes through here. And then goes into a basin, and the basin comes out. It comes out the overflow on this side.
was that on the original plan? He's showing the,
Yes. So this was all in there, and this was all approved. And then in order to install grass pavers, you have to put a base down.
Yes.
Of process, and
Yep.
then you put the pavers on top of that.
right, and then dirt in the middle, right? Dirt for
Correct.
grass,
Or
right?
process.
Or process.
Or
Usually we
process.
put process in it, and then we put seed on top of it.
Right, well, and to it, the grass pavers. All right, so why should we do this retrospectively? Since you didn't do what you said you were going to do, why should we approve it?
Originally, we didn't realize that it was on the original drawing of CCA's drawing, because this drawing was done before that we had the property, that we all own the property. It was on there through the approved process prior to us having it. And then we went through it, and then we go to put these in, we said, why do we need to put process down, pavers on top, and then put that in there for fire access? So, well, we talked to the fire marshal, and there was also supposed to be a gate over here.
Yeah,
And we talked to him, he said he would prefer not to have the gate, his name was Mike.
yep,
So I asked him,
yeah, because it's knock boxes and all that heavy stuff.
excuse me?
It knocks boxes and locks and things like that. It can be troublesome to get through
Exactly, to get it
gates.
correct, okay. So we're on, no, it was just something that we were just asking. So we said we could eliminate the gate, and he said he was fine with that. And then we said this is all gonna be processed in here, it's already processed currently, and he said he's absolutely fine with that as well. This is just for a fire truck in case, like a truck or something breaks down in the paved driveway. It's all seeded, this is all a bank on the.
So you want us to approve it retrospectively, because you're saying that everything else is according to the plan, so you must have had, somebody had a plan to do that.
No, we did, and this was
Okay.
approved currently through CCA prior to when we bought the property.
Okay. All right,
We're
well,
just- it's a
you
nice-
put us in a terrible spot,
And
right?
I didn't mean, I
Yeah,
mean, I don't
you
know if
put
I
us in
am
a
or
bad
not.
spot, you know, you put us in a bad spot, you know, you really have.
I didn't do it intentionally.
I know you didn't do it intentionally, but I
I
said.
mean, we really dressed up the area quite a bit on the outside of it, if you ever, have you driven by or not, it's paved, there's nice trees that come all the way down there, it's a pretty building, I believe.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's terrific. Here's the one, so, like I said, you put us in a bad spot, but it's probably not the worst thing to put gravel versus pavers. But what I need before I can approve a plan is I need to know where the wetlands flags are. Right? I need to know where they are.
Excuse me?
It's true, we need to.
I need to
we-
know
we
where the
they
wetlands are. I mean, I appreciate in general, they're over here,
No,
because
no,
they.
it's not there in general, the,
Here's what you gotta do for me. If you want me to make this change, because I'm sure the original has the wetlands flags
does.
on it. Somebody, whether it's, are you TD?
I'm Anthony.
You're
from
Anthony of TD. Okay, so you need to get your CAD guy to go look at the old plan,
That would be Steve Steve Sullivan.
Steve Sullivan,
Yeah.
I thought Steve was gonna put the wetlands flags on here.
and put the wetlands flags.
We never asked him to do that on
Okay,
there.
you're going to though. Because this is wetlands, and I can't approve a plan unless I know where the wetlands are.
Yeah, none of us go into it.
Okay, and I'm,
And so I just need Steve
Mhm.
to go to Steve and say, take this plan, revise it, and draw a dotted line as to where the wetlands are.
okay, silly question.
Yeah,
Does a flood easement mean the wetlands?
I have no idea, because I would be, I have no idea.
No.
And I just need a line, I need Steve to put some line here,
Mhm.
wherever it is, because I don't know,
Correct.
and say, wetlands line, and I don't know when the flagging on here was a long time ago, but that, we should be okay with that.
It wasn't like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't 20 years ago. So, and he can get that
Yeah.
from the original plan that was
Correct.
approved. So that's what I need. I need him
Okay.
to go to the original plan, put these wetlands flags on.
Put the wetland flags on the survey map.
Yeah, the
That's all you're
wetlands,
asking.
that's exactly what. And then I'm gonna know, right,
Mhm.
for sure, because you want me to sign this, right? You
Oh,
want me
like
to
that,
sign
yes.
this, yeah. I can't sign it till I know where the wetlands are,
Understood.
okay?
Without you signing this, I can't get my CO.
Without me signing this, you can't get your CO.
That's why I'm here.
I know that's why you're here. I know that. I do know
I'm
that.
just being honest with you.
So you're, well, yeah, well, I know you're gonna be honest, right? Oh, yeah, I know you're gonna be honest.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, no,
Being
no.
honest, truth.
I actually don't say that anymore. I said, I don't say to be honest, I say to be candid,
Yeah, that's another way to
Right?
put it, yeah.
because you're always gonna be honest. Nobody's
That's
gonna
not
lie.
You wanna bet?
I'm not gonna-
I
I'm
meet
not-
a lot of people in my life. A lot of
I'm
people
not
lie
gonna
to me.
lie.
A lot of
I am
people
not gonna lie, but I can be candid. So, is that clear as a bell? Steve will know exactly what
no
is
big deal.
required.
I'll have it tomorrow for you.
I'm not gonna be here for 2 weeks,
Okay?
okay?
Do I need to come back in the next week?
It's up
If
to
you
We
can,
would-
we'd
I would
love to
encourage
see
it.
you. We'll put you on to old business, so you'll be earlier.
I appreciate that.
If when you look at the line,
Yeah.
if it's still nowhere near here, I think you're gonna be all right.
No, this
I just-
paver driveway, this,
Right.
this gravel driveway is per the drawing.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
just
sure
saying,
it
this
is.
gravel driveway is per the drawing.
I'm-
There's no issues with that.
I'm sure
The
it is.
issue, there's no issue. The only thing you're just asking, just wanna confirm, is you just want the flags per the map.
I
That's
need
it.
to know where the wetlands are, right,
Flag
right,
on
and then,
A2
right,
survey.
right. And then a note, right,
You know what?
then a note to yourself,
Yep.
don't do this again.
It's been a lot of money to go, I think.
Yeah, I know there has been, I understand, I said, it is a challenge for the fire guys to try and figure out the right answer here,
Yeah.
you know, because it's all tiny little probabilities, nobody wants a fire. You know,
No,
and
it's a non-combustible building.
Yeah, it's a real challenge, you know what, because if in the slightest tiny possible bit that for some reason there is a fire here,
Yeah.
they gotta be able to get there,
Exactly.
You know?
That's what I like.
you know, and if they're satisfied with gravel, then that's, should be okay with us, but please don't do that to us again.
Will do.
All
Next
right.
time, before I get a map, I'm going to look at the details.
I think that's a wise choice.
This is a lesson.
Less
This
than-
is a lesson, right?
I mean, this-
All right,
This could be the wetlands line, but it has to say so.
It's gotta say
by-
so.
By the,
yeah,
is the line
Steve,
here,
Steve will
is
put
A
it
little
on,
dash line. And to be
Yeah.
honest with you, like,
it could be.
it
could
is.
be,
I'm more like,
Yeah.
I'm 99.99%.
For us, it has to say
There's
so.
a few things on that property, so I'm hesitant to say that that is, because there's also floodplain on that property. So when it says flood easement line, I'm wondering if it means floodplain line. So I would definitely get the wetlands, I believe
yeah.
you're right in your choice.
I can't sign it unless I know what the wetlands
I'll
are.
go back to my garage, get the drawing from my dad.
What? No, don't do that. All right, I'll make a motion to continue 77 Vale Road to the next regularly scheduled meeting with the understanding the applicant will provide an updated plan with the wetlands, flags, and lines notated, as well as he'll do the upland review area too. Get an upland review area line, okay? So he's gonna do two things, he'll know. Wetlands line, he'll know, and then an upland review line. He'll do both.
Second,
Upland review. That's that buffer we talked about. And then the good news is, you'll know, because anything that you wanna do in that upland review area needs a permit. storage of equipment, oil, chippers, that kind of happy stuff. You know, if it's not on the
To be honest
plan,
with you, we don't really keep, I have a couple trailers that park in the back, and that's all I got.
that's all I'm saying. Anything that happens in that regulated area, if it's on an ongoing basis, cutting trees,
No, we're not cutting trees.
good.
I got 3 trailers back there, that's all.
Okay, all right, so all those in favor of
Aye.
the motion, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. All right, you're done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
See you
I really
later.
appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
See you. 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just.
Oh, I borrowed this in my.
I gave it back to you.
What, my pile?
Yeah, oh, your file, I don't know about your
The
file.
pile, because I had the minutes.
Well, that's what I was looking for, a minute.
You have a set?
I got 'em. Okay, so, no correspondence, review of the previous minutes. So I would just, this is just a, on the minutes for February 26th, this is just a, I think this is just a language clarification. We have the land use office wait. I would say don't approve. Replace the words wait with do not approve a full CO until the baseline reports are submitted and reviewed. And then I would just like to add this, and this is, again, this is just me saying that. Right after that, I would just want a sentence that say the chairman polled, or fellow polled Neustadt and Hudeman, who supported that conversation.
That's right.
Right? I think that's important. It wasn't,
Line items.
yeah, you'll add it to line 31. And I'm gonna give this to you. So it'll read, due to the commission still waiting reports from the property owners, Chair Fox suggested that the land use office strike, wait on, replace with not approve a full CO from the commission until the baseline reports are submitted and agreed to? Because not only we want to submit them, we want to agree to them, right? Then I will add a sentence. Chairman polled fellow commissioners Neustadt and Hudeman who supported this request. Then I think also, this is just just a point on line 67 going into 68. So Chair Fox explained that a permit needs to be approved for trees to be cut in wetlands and upland review area. Then actually, I do have one more. I don't know, we had a conversation about this on line 61. It says Laura Barkowski has drafted a cease and desist stop work order and will deliver it by hand at the February 26th meeting.
I've delivered it by hand.
Did you?
Did, I handed a copy.
Okay.
I also sent
And
it
did
to
deliver,
everybody.
so it wouldn't be
Okay,
will
did.
deliver,
Yeah,
did, right?
delivered. Mhm.
Yeah. And that's all I had. Bob, Michael?
Nothing else.
My messy mess. All right, then I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the February 26th meeting with the 3 changes, additions.
I second that.
Bob seconds that. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous. Informal discussion. Nothing? Nothing?
Nothing.
All right, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay.
Bob seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous.